Hi friends, welcome to the new session of 11th Standard Communicative English Unit 5. How are you all? Are you all comfortable? Great. Because I just want you to be very comfortable so that you can grasp or observe what all I share with you. That's why I would like to know whether you're all comfortable or not. Please note the word, I'd like to know whether you're all comfortable or not. Would. I used the word would. Fine. Friends, you'd have all written your 10th standard examination successfully and you'd have come here to 11th standard Communicative English, a special subject, right? Likewise, will you all get through the 12th standard Communicative English examinations, rather 12th standard examinations in a successful manner? Very good. Will you all do it? Superb. You can and you will. Great. I told you before that you have to note the word would, what I used previously, right? Yeah, the word would. And I used two words, can and will. What are these? Do you know the meaning of these words? Without knowing the meanings, sometimes what do? You very casually use such words. Fine. Right. I'd like to put a question, a situation. When you like to enter the staff room, right, to meet your teacher, what will you do? Yeah, very good. You will ask or seek permission from your teacher. How will you seek permission? Are I come in, ma'am? Do I come in, ma'am? Am I right? Don't laugh at me, right? Because you know that is wrong. How will you ask? You seek permission with the help of the word may. Good. So, would, can, will, may. What are these? Very good. You would have come across these words from 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, everything. But still, I would like to tell you about these words because you are in Communicative English group. Fine. Even though you'd have known about these things, let us all just revise it once again. Fine. These words are modals. Very good. So, the topic for today's session is modals. Shall we see what modals are? A modal verb is a type of verb that is used to indicate modality. Friends, here I would like to tell you one thing particularly. When we pronounce this word, it should be pronounced as modal. It's not model. Because M-O-D-E-L, that only should be pronounced as model. Whereas this is modal. M-O-D-A-L. Fine. A modal verb is a type of verb used to indicate modality. That is likelihood, ability, permission, request, capacity, suggestions, order, obligation or advice. Like you won't be able to frame sentences only using the be form verbs. You need to place a request. You need to place an obligation. You need to show your capacity. You need to show your ability. For such things, you need certain verbs. And those verbs are modals. Modal verbs always accompany the base form of another verb having semantic content. Shall we see the types of modals? Yeah. Can, could, may, might, must, should, will, would, shall, should. Shall we just revise it again? Have a recap of those words? Yeah. Can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, would. And one more word is ought to, need to, dare to, used to. Those words are semi-modals, which we will learn later on, immediately after telling about these modals. Fine. How are these modals useful to us? In which way? How are we going to frame sentences? In which way are we going to use these modals and frame sentences? Right. Now we are going to see these modals and for what purpose do they help us? Can. Can helps us to show our ability to seek permission, and it shows the probability. I can speak Spanish. Can I go to bathroom? It can't be Mark. He's in London. That is probability. Then could. The past ability, past permission, probability and request. He could swim when he was 6 years old. This could is the past form of can. He could go to the theater. It could get much hotter in July. I could lend you my notebook. Now, may. It shows the probability. How does it show? It may snow tomorrow. It may means what? It may or may not. I may become a great leader of the nation in the future. I may become or may not become. That is called probability, right? It may snow tomorrow, and may helps us to seek permission. Usually we use this term to seek permission. May I come in? Might, probability. This also shows the probability. It might rain today. But the percentage of the probability is less. Lesser than may. You should understand that. Then must. This shows the prohibition. When you want to prohibit something, when you want someone not to do certain things, you should use must. Prohibition. You mustn't speak loudly here. Probability. It's quite dark. It must be after 8 o'clock. Should. It shows the advice. You shouldn't smoke. It is unhealthy. Will. Prediction. I think he'll study harder this time. It shows the spontaneous decision. Just when we started the class, I asked you one question. Will you be able to come out with a good grade in 12th standard immediately? What was your answer? You said, I can, I will. Spontaneously you decided and you told me, right? Will helps us to show how we spontaneously decided about something, right? It's very hot today. I'll open the window. Next, would. Would shows or would helps you to place a request, invite someone, or show your interest on making few arrangements. Right? I would like to take your book, please. So, this shows how you request or how you place a request to take the book from your friend. I would like to invite you over phone next week. Shall I? So, this is a type of invitation. You invite your friend or someone for a function. And when you like to tell that you are interested in making arrangements, I would like to do the arrangements by myself. You show your interest by using the word would. Now, let's see about the uses of can, could, shall, should, may, might. Friends, I would like to tell you another one thing, that when you pronounce shall, it is not shall, it's shall. Fine? Let's see about can now. Can is used to show the ability to do something in the present. It is a substitute for the word I am able to do this. I can do this. I can speak English. Permission to do something in the present. That is, it is a substitute for the term to be allowed to. Can I go to the cinema? Request. Can you wait a moment, please? Offer. I can lend you my car till tomorrow. Suggestion. Can we visit grandma at the weekend? Possibility. It can get very hot in Arizona. Could is used to show the ability to do something in the past. Again, the substitute form for the term to be able to. I was able to do this. I could do this. Can is a present form. Could is the past form. I was able to do this. I could do this. Right? I could speak English. Permission to do something in the past. To be allowed to. I could go to the cinema. I could go to the cinema, but nowadays I am unable to. That you should understand. Right? Polite question. Could I go to the cinema, please? Polite request. Could you wait a moment, please? Polite offer. I could lend you my car till tomorrow. When do you use this could as a polite offer? While you speak to the persons who are superior to you, not at your level, right? You can tell them very well, I can lend my car for your use tomorrow. Whereas when you speak to your superior, you should use such a term, could, for showing that you are offering something to them, right? Polite suggestion. Could we visit grandma at the weekend? To your parents or relatives or friends, you don't use such a term. Whereas someone who is new to you, someone who is elder to you, you use could to make a polite suggestion. Possibility. It could get very hot in Montana. May. May again helps us to show the possibility. It may rain today. It helps us to seek permission in the present. That is, to be allowed to. May I go to the cinema? That is, You are seeking permission at present. You should remember that. And this helps us to place a polite suggestion to someone. Give a suggestion, but in a very polite manner. May I help you? This is a common term. Whether you are known to the person to whom you are extending the help or the person who is unknown to you also. Fine. May I help you is a very common term. And might. This again helps us to show the possibility. It might rain today. Hesitant offer. Might I help you? When you say, may I help you, this may shows that you are wholeheartedly extending your help. Whereas, this word might here shows that you are a bit hesitant to do that particular work. Fine. Shall. Shall is used instead of will in the first person. I shall. Instead of will, I will. We use shall. It helps us to show suggestions. Give suggestions. Shall I carry your bag? You don't ask as, will I carry your bag? No. Immediately, how do you ask? Shall I carry your bag? Shall I do this? Shall I help you? So, this is the way of putting a suggestion over there. Should. Should is used to extend an advice. You should drive carefully in bad weather. Then, should also helps us to put an obligation. You should switch off the light when you leave the room. Will. Will is used to show our wish, put a request, demand something from others, put an order. But order in the sense what? In a polite way. Shall we see the examples for that? Yeah. Will you please shut the door? Like it's a request, it's a question, rather in a very polite manner. Will you please shut the door? Prediction and assumption. You can frame sentences using will to predict something. I think it will rain on Friday. Promise. I will stop smoking. I will study in a better way to get better marks. Spontaneous decision. Previously I told you, right? The same thing. Spontaneous decision can be done with the use of will. Can somebody drive me to the station? Yes, I will. Habits. She is strange. She'll sit for hours without talking. So, will helps us to talk about others' habits too. Right? Next, would. Would is used to show our or others' wish. Place a request. And it is a more polite term than will. Would you shut the door, please? Instead of using will you shut the door, if you use the word would and place a request, that would be effective, right? Would you shut the door, please? Usually, when we speak to our friends or someone who are at our age, we won't be so polite. How will we ask them? Will you give me a book? Will you do this? we won't be so polite with them. Whereas, we'll be very polite with the elders who are near us, right? Would you shut the door? Would you be able to give the book? Please, this is the way you request them. Habits in the past. Sometimes he would bring me some flowers. Like, that shows the habits of a person which had been in the past, not in the present. Must. This is used to show the force and necessity. I must go to the supermarket today. That shows the necessity of doing that particular thing. Possibility. You must be tired. That means what? By seeing them, we can very well understand that they are tired. Advice and recommendation. You must see the new film with Brad Pitt. It may be taken as a recommendation. For advice, usually, what do we get as advice as students? You must study hard to get good marks. Very good. This is what I expected from you. Right? You are able to understand what I would like to tell you. Fine. Let's go to the next. We have been seeing about modals. Let's see about semi-modals. A verb that functions to some extent like a modal verb, typically in the way it forms negative and interrogative constructions. English semi-modals include need and dare. The marginal modal verbs, sometimes called semi-modal verbs, are dare, need, ought to, used to. Shall we see one by one? Ought to. The train ought to leave now. He ought to speak now. That means what? It shows the compulsion. Ought usually shows the duty, the compulsion of a particular thing. That means what? The soldier ought to join duty. Fine. That means he should definitely join duty. Vaigai Express ought to leave at 6:45 p.m. That means what? Definitely without fail Vaigai Express, it leaves the station by 6:45 p.m. Right? Ought to is very much useful to express that something must be done without fail. Right? We'll see the next. Used to is very much helpful to frame sentences showing your habits. What all you do regularly. Right? I used to drink coffee when I was young. He used to smoke once. They used to visit our house when they were here. You must have noticed here. Used to shows the habit which had been done in the past, not at the present. Fine. Kindly grasp this particular thing. I used to drink coffee. That means what? You don't drink coffee now. When I was young. He used to smoke once. They used to visit our house when they were here. Fine. So, this shows the past, not the present. Next, I need to come now. He need not take this exam. They need not buy this dress. What does this need show? It shows whether that particular thing is needed, whether that particular action should be or needed to be done. Fine. He need not come to the exam. That is the meaning of he need not take this exam. I need to come now. That means there is some emergency. Right? You should understand the meaning of this particular term need. Next, dare. This dare helps us to ask fiercely, rather in a very strong way, or put a question in a strong way, because we are not convinced with their actions. Right? Dare. How dare you speak to me? I dare not to show my progress card to my father. That means what? You would have taken, rather that particular student must have taken less marks. So, he or she might be in a position not to show the progress report. This is where we use that particular term dare. I dare not to show my progress card to my father. You dare to get up in the middle. That means what? While you are in the class, you are not supposed to get up and just go away in the middle of the class, right? You dare to go up in the middle. Next, few exercises are given for you, for which I have done one, and the balance of the exercises must be done by you. Complete the following with suitable modal verbs. Parents should learn that they must not allow their children to watch television for long hours. It may certainly affect their health. Continuous and regular watching will make children unimaginative. Fine. All others should be filled by you. Right? Shall we just have a recap with 2 or 3 questions? Can you frame 1 or 2 sentences using can? Where do you use the modal verb will? When do you use the modal verb ought to? Fine. Hope you have understood the modals and the lessons and their uses in this session. And till we meet again in a new session, thank you.